All right, we're going to go now to Monica Crowley, the, I guess, former Assistant Secretary of the Treasury in the Trump administration, host of the Monica Crowley podcast. Monica, it is great to see you. Looking at the situation we're seeing right now as far as fuel prices and the situation in Russia, I think a lot of people are asking, when does the break come? When do we get to a point where we can actually see some of these prices go down?
Well, it's great to be with you guys. Thank you so much for having me. And I think every American, every time they go to fill up their gas tank, it's $90, $100, depending on the car that you're driving and where you are in the country. It's completely outrageous and totally avoidable. All President Biden needed to do was continue the energy independence policies of President Trump. Instead, the first thing he did was kill the Keystone XL pipeline. Then he banned drilling on federal lands, banned drilling in Anwar, negative on fracking, negative on nuclear. So we have all of the energy resources we need in America right here, but he and his administration refused to get those resources out of the ground. And that, in turn, has made us energy dependent once again. So when you combine those catastrophic energy policies with what's going on with Russia and Ukraine and the disruption to the global oil market and so many other geopolitical dynamics that are going on related to that, I don't think the American consumer can expect lower fuel and home heating costs to go down anytime soon. I think it's only going one way, and that's up, unfortunately.
Yeah, let's talk about the food shortages that President Biden is now talking about. Listen to this.
With regard to food shortage, yes, we did talk about food shortages. And it's going to be real.
It's going to be real, Monica.
You know, it's almost like this president is briefed on certain issues. And because he's deeply cognitively challenged, he has no more filter. So he'll go out in public and blurt out what he was told in private. I think that is one of those moments. You know, I think his staff probably regrets the fact that he went out there and talked about the potentiality of food shortages, but I think it's probably very real. You know, the Russians account for a lot of fertilizer that the United States imports, when, by the way, we have plenty of manufacturers and farmers here in the United States who could do all of these things for us. But Biden has embraced America last after President Trump's America first. So when it comes to fertilizer, when it comes to the importation of a whole range of things, including food, all of these supply chain disruptions from China and Europe and Russia and the rest of the world that Biden has now made us even more dependent on, then, yeah, I think that we could see food shortages and other things that Americans are just not used to seeing.
Right, yeah, and he does seem more concerned about every other country other than America. Former Assistant Treasury Secretary Monica Crowley, thank you very much for joining us. Great to see you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Monica.